So, guys, welcome to the Diverse Creative Podcast. And for everyone who doesn't know, I'm sitting here with my friends, Rusty and Sarah, and I've had the great fortune of knowing you guys long enough that I've seen you go from local KZN peeps to global traveling super team.
Yeah, it has been a while. Hey, I think we met. I remember meeting you at. It was like a pre-splashy event.
At a bar in Durban.
Yeah, it's S43, I think it was.
That was the
I think
one.
Perez were being announced or something. I don't know if they were playing.
And we had Freddie L and his band were playing that night, and yeah, it was a good job.
Yeah,
it was a good
it
job.
was a vibe. I ran into Sarah and I ran into Freddie L in Cape Town.
Yeah,
was it earlier this year?
Yeah.
In January or
A nice
somewhere.
one.
Yeah, interesting. He seems to be doing pretty well over there.
Yeah, I checked that he is. He's another one of those people that like I've sort of followed from, you know, when he was like doing The Voice and then he was at White Mountain and like I connected with him there, and he was by the next splashy when I saw him he was going through all the traumas of becoming this sort of professional contracted star and dealing with what that actually means. That's quite like a heavy thing actually, as it turns out.
Yeah, it is. I mean, pushing your own music is kind of different from what we do now.
Yeah.
Because we used to, you know, push our own thing. But since we've been working with Showtime and doing the kind of gigs we're doing now, that's all handled by someone else. But when you're pushing your own brand and your
It's
own...
exhausting. There's so much to think about.
But there's so much that rests on your shoulders, because if something doesn't work, it's
you.
you know, you got to figure it out.
I mean, there's pros and cons, which we'll
Yeah.
get into just now, to like the freedom that you get when you're able to do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. That is a certain level of freedom.
Yeah.
Whereas when you become contracted to big companies like Showtime or The Voice, or, you know, where you start to have expectations of a different nature, that comes with its own pros and cons, right? Like it's...
Yeah.
And I mean, so for everyone who doesn't know, you guys are touring with the Queen show.
So there's a number of shows that we have worked on since we've been working with Showtime, but the main one is a show called Queen, It's a Kind of Magic. I play Brian May in that show. Sarah's the lighting designer. We've been doing that. I've been doing it for 5 years. Sarah's been doing it for about 4 years now. Yeah, it's been...
And I mean, the scale of that is huge. It's a really huge scale production, global production.
Yeah.
So you guys have been traveling the world, and I get to live vicariously through your Instagram, through Sarah's Instagram.
When we remember to post.
More Sarah's Instagram than mine. I've
Definitely
kind
more
of
Sarah's Instagram.
I've kind of let that side of things slip recently, but you know.
Yeah, I wasn't great about it this year either. It was just a crazy year.
Yeah, we had a lot going on. It was a busy year. It was a good year. We went to a lot of places, did a lot of shows. Lots of them were very well supported, especially in Canada.
Always in Canada.
It was our 4th year in a row.
I mean, you guys are playing big sort of, like, big venues.
Well, that yes and no, because the way that the production is put together is it's can work on a really big stage, but you can also downsize it and do really small, intimate theatres, which are also really great. And I think you enjoy the audiences maybe a little bit more in the smaller venues.
It depends. It really does depend. But the smaller venues, you can see more of the people. It's more intimate, and it's also quieter. So it feels more. What's the word? Raw.
Real.
I guess so.
Yeah.
The bigger ones, you lose connection, but it's also intimidating. So I think a different part of you turns on to kind of deal with the size
that
of
level.
it.
Yeah. What's the biggest audience you guys have played for?
Oh, geez. I think still the biggest is Grand West Arena in Cape Town.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So despite the fact we've been all over,
Yeah.
still the biggest one was in South Africa. I think that was in 2022. We had about 5,500 there, which it was pretty much sold out. They didn't have standing room,
Right,
so that
okay.
venue can hold, I think, up to like 7.5 if they did standing room.
Right.
But everyone was seated, so
But I mean, that is an enormous audience to
Yeah.
play to. And I mean, you go from being a very talented local KZN guitarist
Thank
and
you.
musician. Honestly, we all are a little envious. There's a few of our KZN local musos who are particularly skilled, right? Yourself, Skippy, both of you guys have like a really high level of skill as guitarists, as musicians in general, but I mean your skill on the guitar is like next level, which is obviously why you get pulled in to be Brian May. Like that's like you're
Well,
that guy.
it's that, and maybe knowing people, and it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Right.
But I mean, I used to work with Skippy. Skippy and I were in a blues trio for a number of years, and we used to do shows together. I miss that a lot of the time.
It was a vibe.
But it's so awesome to see him doing what he's doing now, and like with his Marshall Midlands.
The very many bands.
The very many bands.
And,
I pull him into my band frequently too.
Yeah,
so that's
he's
the thing.
awesome. I'm so proud of him and impressed with what he's doing. I'd love to jam with him again at some point. I'm sure we'll make that happen. But we just, we're not always sure what our timeline will be, as in when we'll be home. And then when we are home, a lot of the time we just want to rest. Because tour life can be
Intense,
quite challenging.
I mean, you guys are really fortunate that you get to do this together. So it's not like it's taking you away from each other, which I think for a lot of professional musicians, their family life suffers when they reach that level where they are now sort of touring the world and, they get pulled away from the people that they love. And I've had this conversation with musicians, and it's one of the things that they bring up, that they feel that loss, even though they're gaining so much. And I know obviously you guys do leave family behind, but you still have each other to go through this journey with.
That is a big thing. It is a big thing. We do battle, both of us, with our own families and the time that we get with them, because it's a lot less than it used to be.
Yeah.
But I guess,
yeah, I think that the first year when Rusty was on tour, before I joined, that was tough because initially it was supposed to be 9 months. It was like a 9-month contract. He's going over to New Zealand and Australia. It was supposed to be, and that was still in like the height of COVID. And they basically just got stuck on tour and couldn't come home. So it was like 9 months became 10 months, and then it was 11 months. Then it was like, I'm not coming home. You're coming on tour.
Yeah, there we go. New plan.
Yeah.
that's the crazy thing is also you don't know how things are going to play out. Like so many people, us included, when COVID hit, like in 2020, all of my gigs went away, like everybody else.
Everyone's gigs, yeah.
And so many people's jobs too just vanished,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, a year later, I'm on tour internationally, like playing, because New Zealand was open internally.
Right.
And was closed to the rest of the world. So if you managed to get in, which we did, inside everything was just normal. So
that must have been surreal comparatively to like what you'd been living through here.
Yeah, and I'm like stuck at home. I also don't have any work,
Yeah, we've gone from like doing live streams on Facebook and trying to like record my singles and put them out there and try and do something because it was something to do.
Yeah.
Not go insane. And to suddenly being apart from each other, and I'm playing venues in front of like hundreds of people in New Zealand. It's the most bizarre experience. And then you just miss all the family milestones and things that happen, like people's birthdays and weddings and deaths.
Yeah, sadly we've missed a lot of good friends' weddings while we've been away.
But now we sound like we're moaning.
Yeah, we do tend to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's then talk about the positive side of this experience while we're at it. Like, you guys obviously are getting to travel the world, see some pretty incredible places, play for at incredible venues and amazing audiences. What other pros have you found aside from those obvious ones?
For me, it's definitely the scale of equipment that I get to work with.
Nice,
I've learned a lot while I've been on tour because it's very different to anything we have here, where like you'll go into a venue and sometimes you use the equipment that they have and sometimes you use the equipment that our company has and you kind of make it work. But I've been, I was kind of thrown into the deep end a little bit there, but that's how you grow.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think whenever this whole thing comes to an end, that's something I'll miss, is like having that scale to work with.
Yeah, that really professional equipment to play with. That must be so
It's a lot
good.
of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of, very stressful. As you've seen me get quite stressed out sometimes, but it always comes together in the end.
But I mean, 4 years in, you're clearly doing well because you're still doing it.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't kicked me out yet, so I'm obviously not doing a shit job.
And the videos look great, so clearly not doing a shit job. Everyone looks like they're really shining brightly, and the lighting is exceptional. And
Yeah, I have some fun with it.
yeah, that's great. I mean, it's quite a thing to be back of house in that sense on a production. Everyone sees Rusty and the guys who are on stage, and that's what they think the show is about. But there is so much behind the scenes that's going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, for us as musicians, we know without good lighting and without good sound techs, we're screwed, right?
Well, I mean, you know,
Unless
you
we're
guys
planning
would
on
still,
just looking pretty.
you guys would still, you know, make it sound beautiful with your music,
Yeah.
but it turns it from just playing music into like a whole production,
Absolutely, yeah.
a feast for the senses.
Yeah, and that's a huge thing. And it's something I've really been looking at recently is sort of like how to orchestrate that. And I played one show in an absolute dive pub that I would not have expected any of that to come together. And that was the show where it actually came together because that sound engineer was top level, and he just played with the lighting so incredibly well. He had smoke machines and incredible lighting, and he was able to shift the lighting around based on the mood of the song, and I was like, it really made it another level of performance.
It definitely draws your audience in.
Yeah.
And sometimes they don't realize why.
Yeah.
And why, like, they're listening to the music and they're feeling a certain way and they're
very
just
clever.
completely stuck to that stage.
Yes.
And they don't necessarily realize, unless it's like the sound is really shit and there's feedback, or they can't see the people that are on stage, then a lot of the time they'll notice the sound and the lighting.
Yes, yeah. They
Whereas
notice the bad, not necessarily
exactly,
the good, right?
But then that's the way you kind of know that you're doing a good job, as if people aren't really noticing.
A subtle kind of magic.
Yeah.
I mean, and it is so important, though, because it affects the performance of those musicians. You know, for myself, I know this. Like, that particular show, I performed probably better than I've ever performed because I felt that connection that the audience and the attentiveness of that, and I felt the vibe that was created around what I was putting across. And that is a really special gift that your skill is giving to those musicians as much as to the audience, you know?
Yeah. I love that. I love to hear that you felt it as well. That's
yeah, I mean, it's
makes
like
it worth it for me as well.
it's really, I think, totally something that you probably aren't thanked enough for.
The crew very seldom, like sound engineers and lighting designers particularly, seldom get much recognition for what they do.
Yeah,
But they make or break your show a lot of the time.
absolutely, yeah.
But there is often like at least one or two people in a crowd who'll come up to the desk afterwards and say like, that was really great lighting or really good mix, you know, and you know, they've been in it from some aspect and then they know to recognize that sort of stuff, and then they'll come up to you, and that's always much appreciated.
Yeah. It is really a very special skill. I mean, I studied digital sound engineering and was not particularly good, right? Totally honest about it. I'm better in front of that. I'm better being the one with the vocals and the guitar than I am being the one behind the scenes doing the mixing.
Yeah.
It's nice to have an understanding of how that works.
Yeah, sure.
Lighting is a whole other dynamic, though. And I mean, especially these days with the level of technology that we have. And how has that changed for you since when you kind of got into this industry?
I mean, it's not terribly different because I was learning with a lot of the new stuff like when I was in varsity, but there was still some of the old mixed in with it. So I've kind of a basic understanding from then of both sides. But definitely now, especially working overseas, you see a lot more of the high-tech stuff than you would in South Africa. So it's good to have a little bit of both, you know, knowledge of both. But definitely overseas, I use more of the digital world, I suppose.
Right. I mean, it must be quite a thing, because I mean, I even watch sound engineers these days with their tablets. Like, they're sitting in the crowd. No longer are we sitting there with mixing desks, analog kind of style mixing desks, ones that I can work and feel familiar with. Now it's all sitting there like on some dude's tablet, and he's like, you know, back there. We're like,
But it gives you a lot of flexibility as a sound engineer, because you get to hear what the sound sounds like from other people's perspectives.
You'd
can
be
move
mobile
around
with
and
it,
go,
yeah.
okay, cool. There at the front, it's a bit harsh. So we've got to figure out how to sort that out so it still sounds good at the back, and you make a happy medium. Whereas if the classical approach would be a fixed position,
Yeah,
which is where
Often stuck in a little box,
Yes.
with just a little hole in the front at
Which
the
is
back
often-
of the venue.
yeah,
It's
and
very limiting.
it's
Yeah.
often one of the worst places to mix from.
Absolutely.
Because if you're inside of a box, the sound's coming into that box and then reverberating in the room
it's a totally
that you're in.
different entity.
Yeah, so I guess it's, but I mean, it is quite challenging. I remember when digital desks first started coming out and they were now in venues, it completely blew my mind. I had such a hard time initially learning them
Yes.
because I wanted, just give me I want to be able to see where
I want to just
everything
be able
is.
to turn this little dial to get a tad more reverb and, just
Old school.
yeah, I feel you on that. I do.
But it does allow for a lot more flexibility, and you have to have a lot more physical gear if you're doing it the old way than we have to have.
So it has downscaled the amount of equipment you're carting around the world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Showtime has equipment in all their territories where they perform, so we don't generally fly with that much.
That's good, yeah.
But you still need to maximize the amount of space you have in a truck or in a trailer, and
And it's still gear that's got to be loaded and shifted around and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Every day,
But it's
out of the
also-
truck onto the stage.
it's things that make anything you can do to make every show exactly the same from the perspective of the performer. It will help the show tremendously, because especially when you're doing long tours, the more consistent you can have it, the easier it is when you're having a rough day.
To just kind of muscle memory. Almost.
Yeah, so you put your earphones in, you plug it in, and everything should be roughly the same as it was last night, how you had it on your mix, on your phone or whatever. Because we can control our mixes with our phones these days. And that-
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where the industry has gone, I think, for a majority of this kind of show.
Scale of performance. Yeah.
It gives you that flexibility. I mean, if I were to do it now, if I was to come home and start doing shows again, I'd probably look pretty heavily into getting that kind of equipment. But I'm familiar with it now. I think it's very hard to get into it because the barrier for entry is quite high, price-wise.
Yeah.
And you have to learn a lot. And we're talking about, us musicians are trying to also focus on performing. And it's like in this era, we have to be so many things now. We're
literally, I mean, from an independent perspective, we are marketing agencies, we are social media, we are the musician, we are often doing our own recording. It's definitely admin. It's definitely a full-time 5 jobs.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah. And ultimately, you want to be in a position where you can focus on the music as much as possible.
Yeah.
And that's, the way things are now makes that pretty hard.
Yeah, it currently does. I mean, obviously for you are currently very focused on playing a set that is connected with the show that you're playing.
Yeah.
Right, so you play a bucket ton of Queen.
Yeah.
Just like loads of
It's
Queen.
my favorite music in the world. I absolutely love it. And the position that we're in, it allows us to focus on what we do. Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, we do the setups and the teardowns every day. But apart from that...
So you guys aren't running around with like a crew of 10 roadies?
Well, we do have...
These are the crew. They are crew and musicians.
We do have... It's not just the band and Sarah. There are a few other people. And everybody works really
I wondered
hard.
why you were building such good muscle there.
Yeah, what's good? It's good to be involved in it, and it keeps you fit on tour as well. And sometimes if you feel like you've had a rough show, because even if you think you've had a rough show, it's usually not been that bad because of how the shows are put together, and how often, just well rehearsed they are, and you might have messed up one thing here or there. The audience still loved it, but now you're just feeling rough and angry or annoyed, and then you start packing up, and you're good after that.
Yeah, you've
sweated a
worked
bit.
it out.
Yeah, it does help. to shift your mindset. But I don't know. We just
Even like loading in with a hangover, you know.
Yeah, loading in with a hangover.
Sometimes it just helps to get the blood flowing.
Yeah, I mean, this is a true story. That is actually genuinely a cure for a hangover. Is a good exercise, and nothing quite like hauling some speakers around to do that. And I mean, it's now a long-running show that you've been part of. I mean, 5 years.
Yeah.
On a global scale. That's good going. How long do you foresee this kind of going on for? Or are you just going with the flow? You're like, I'm just going with it till it stops running.
Look, I think as long as it benefits both Showtime and us, it makes sense for us to keep doing it.
Yeah.
And we're still enjoying doing the Queen show. People are still coming to the show and are loving it. So if everyone's happy to keep going, we're happy to keep going.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you feel a bit typecast? Just got to ask. You know, like have they? Like I mean, they dye your hair. You dye your hair. Obviously, they don't come in and be like, "Sit, Rusty, we will dye your hair." But I mean, inevitably, you get into character, and that is a very physical transformation. But there is an aspect of yourself that's already leaning a little towards that look anyway.
I suppose so. I mean, you kind of want to emulate your heroes when you're young. I always wanted to have long hair because all the guitarists and like musicians that I listened to when I was young all had long hair, and it's kind of a symbol of rebellion and all this stuff, and you know, being a bit of a hippie and that vibe, you know. So I kind of had the hair, and it's curly by itself, so
that's a bonus.
That already helped.
At least they're not perming you too.
No, but I mean, when I joined the company, they had me in a wig. They were really good about being like, we don't want to force you to dye your hair, so we've got this wig. And, you know,
That's terrible.
well, the first one was pretty good, but we lost it somewhere down the line. And then there was another one, and it wasn't quite right, and it limited me on stage because I was always worried about it moving and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, if your wig comes off midway through a show, it somehow breaks that.
It wouldn't have. The thing is, it's pinned into your hair.
Yeah.
It can't come off, but it feels like it is, and then
you're conscious of your movements.
Exactly. And so you don't like rock out as much as you should, or it'll throw you in a section where you really need to be concentrating.
Yeah.
And like any little thing, like these kinds of shows, like if you want a really good show, you want it to be as repeatable as possible, and that everyone knows exactly what's going to happen at every point. Because the audience deserves the best experience possible. You don't want to give them, like one audience, a great show because everyone was on form, and then the next one, you know, this may be more people, and they get like this mediocre show. So,
and I mean, especially with the level that you guys are at now.
Yeah.
And for your own integrity, I'm pretty sure it matters that you are at your absolute best as much of the time as you possibly can be.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard being on tour and being at your best, but also you kind of rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
You know, you don't really know how you're going to react until you're in a situation. So I think.
But I know you've said on occasions before, if you've had like a particularly tough day and you're just not feeling that vibe, and it's like almost time to go on stage, and you've said, you know what, actually, the audience out there doesn't know the kind of day I've had, and they're here, they've paid the money, they want like the experience, and so whatever bullshit's gone on in my day, I'm just going to put that aside and go out there and have fun, and then it makes it a good show for them. So I think you're pretty good at compartmentalizing that sort of stuff.
Oh, well, I try. But I mean, we all put on our game face, I guess, like your persona when you go on stage.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the same as who you are the rest of the time.
Yeah.
It's a version of you that you're offering to people.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, especially in this sense where it's not just you that you're offering to people.
No.
You're trying to also replicate the offerings someone else is.
Yeah, you're trying to give them the experience of having watched Queen in the 80s.
Yeah.
And so that if you're trying to get people to like suspend their disbelief for a while. And that's how we know we've won, if people kind of feel like they've watched the actual Queen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all the shows are kind of put together that way.
And I mean, I have to say, from not having actually come to the show myself, so I can't speak from personal experience, but obviously I do, like I said, stalk you guys on social media a little bit, live vicariously through you, watch some of what you guys are doing. it does look so super authentic. It really does have it's very easy to believe a whole audience could be transported into, the 80s and fully believe they are watching Queen. You guys are doing that good a job.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into that. I mean, it's partly what we're doing on stage, but it's all kinds of things. It's costumes, it's attention to detail, it's learning mannerisms, it's the order of the set list, it's where we are on stage at any particular time, what the lights are doing when we're there, creating atmosphere, the sound, it's everything, and we don't deal with all aspects of it. We just deal with what part of it is our responsibility, and then it all comes together. The show's designed really well, and if a show's got a good design to begin with and everyone does their job, it will inevitably happen. It will,
But I mean, it is a whole other level that I think even for us as musicians watching you, knowing the level of skill that you're putting in, things we don't think about it, things like learning someone's mannerisms on stage, you know? Like,
it was weird.
We focus on, okay, we got to play this like that, right? But it's a whole other thing to take it to that level where you're actually having to learn somebody's technique, style, mannerisms.
Yeah, I mean, even just walking from your microphone into your solo position, it's like there's a Brian May walk, that you've gotta do that thing, and the hair's like going, and it's so like even I sometimes am watching, and I've seen it so many times. I'm like, yes, he really does look like Brian May. It's so cool.
And it's weird because I don't feel like I look like him at all, but I guess in the context of the show, you could maybe be fooled, and I think that's what it's about. And not that we're trying to deceive people, but you're trying to give them an experience.
An authentic as much as possible experience.
Because why not just watch a DVD then?
Yeah.
You could just go to a movie theater, rent it out, put a Queen DVD on.
But to be honest, there's an atmosphere that's created, like we were saying, through the production that goes on behind it, the lighting and this whole stage, the costumes, the build-up, the atmosphere of being in a room with 5,000 other people all hyped up to watch the same thing. That is another level of experience, right? Like, you're not going to get that sitting on your couch at home watching a DVD. Like, it's... There's certainly something that transports you psychologically in a much more dramatic and significant way if you're watching a show in person.
Yeah, and it's also, as you say, with the other people that come to watch it with you. And being people dress up, they like all kinds of crazy costumes and characters, and it's really such a vibe.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. People really get into it,
Yeah, and I mean, you're playing to an audience of people who have been fans of this particular band for generations almost at this point, and that's also, I know it must be a lot of pressure, but it's also an amazing thing to be able to really reach those people and put on a show that they connect with. It
is pressure, but like we were saying about pushing your own music, that's a whole other kind of pressure. So I've done a little bit of that, but
I was going to say, nice segue, Rusty. That's where I was going next. Well done, man.
Because we were doing it, and I was on a mission to get there, but then the Showtime thing came up, and it was an opportunity I wasn't going to turn down. So it kind of stifled that, because I found I can't really concentrate on, I can't give the energy that my own music needs, and also do the touring thing whilst doing something else. I don't have that kind of... Some people can do that. Like, we have worked with people who can do multiple different things well on tour. They're amazing. But I
mean, that's a tough ask, to be honest.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But...
knowing how much work it goes into just marketing your own music, and how, like I said earlier, that's like 5 jobs.
Yeah.
It's not one at all.
Well, you've got to market it. You've got to have something to market. So you have to have...
Content.
Yeah, you've got to have content. You've got to have songs. You've got to have a performance. Again, if people are seeing you for the first time, they don't have the luxury of... I already know what I'm going to see. Like, if I'm going to a Queen show, I know I'm going to hear music I already like. If they come in to see Rusty Red, and they don't know who I am, I have one chance to impress them. And that's how it is for performance. It's hard.
Is it
It's a whole other
something?
different kind of hard.
Is it something that you think? I mean, obviously, if you find yourself in a position where you're not touring the world with this particular show, you would have time again to put into that.
I think I inevitably would. I mean, I have some songs that I have recorded that I've just not put out because I haven't really been, making a mission to start putting a product out or anything. It's just stuff that I've recorded that's sitting, waiting for when I'm ready to do that. But the longer I'm home, a lot of the time, the more I end up looking at my own stuff again. But it's like different versions of myself that I have to split to do both the tour life that we're doing now and
that
whatever Rusty Red is.
which inevitably has changed because of these experiences.
I guess it would have, yeah.
I mean, like the things that you have experienced on such a global scale are definitely going to have shifted what Rusty Red now is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I mean, Rusty Red was impressive to start with. Like I said to Skippy the other day, if playing guitar were a drinking game, we would be under the table and he would still be going. And I feel much the same way about you.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way about Skippy, for sure. Yeah, no, he's incredible. But, there's no... I remember when I got this gig, and I was chatting to my brother about it, and I was like, well, I'd been pushing my own music, and now this is going to send me down this other... I was having some reservations about it. And he was like, there's no rules, He said to me, you wanted to be a musician when you were a kid. Queen's your favorite music, you've always wanted to play it, now you're going to go play it. You don't have to be an original artist. You don't have to not be an original artist either. You don't have to just play covers. There's no rules. It's just whatever you can do. I mean, it's an opportunity that came my way. There was no guarantees I was ever going to be in this position. But through, very good people that we know, Warren Vernon Driscoll, who's the lead singer of the Queen show, we'd known each other for like 17 years now, something like that. He gave my name to Showtime, and here we are.
Yeah.
And surprise, you're now doing that.
It's a good thing that the world surprises you. And I mean, it's such an amazing thing that it's like, you were just so, perfectly skilled to just be like, I'm here to fit this role now too with you. Thank you very much. Cool.
Yeah,
and you go with the flow.
It's literally how it went down, because it was like they were looking for a new guitar player. Warren was like, it just so happens
I know this guy.
and then I was on tour and they were like, oof, we really need some more crew. And I was like, well,
I know this girl.
So we're very lucky that it worked out the way it has. But in life you always want to do something else. So at some point we'll do something else.
Whatever that may be.
And we don't know what that is yet.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be definitely influenced by the experiences that we've had on tour. Doing what we do on such a huge scale. There's a lot of lessons that we can take from that and use in whatever we decide to do for ourselves.
And I mean, honestly, I think as South Africa, to have people from our country that have developed those skills, have had those experiences, be able to come back at any point in time and put back into this industry is something so valuable. So I know you guys could end up anywhere in the world, but I sincerely hope that we find you again on home soil making this better, because we need people with that level of skill and competence to make it all it can be and should be,
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you'll still be all over the world doing that, but I sincerely hope that you will bring a piece of all of this home again. And I know I walked in here this week, Clarens Jamboree. Yeah, I have no idea what to expect. Jess had said to me, musos from all over the place are going to be here, and the first thing as I walked through, I was like, is that Rusty? She's like, yeah. Yeah, that's so awesome. I have not seen my friends in a long time.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It was such a nice surprise.
Yeah.
And this is what I was chatting about and saying to Rick about Jamboree is it's like, you've got musicians actually who are literally, like you guys, all over the world doing all sorts of things, and suddenly you show up here in Clarens on the stage behind us.
Well, you got to come home, you know? I mean...
and then play with every other act who goes, Rusty, could you get up? Rusty, could you get up? Rusty, could you get up?
Look, I mean, guitar playing was always just something fun. When I think that's the only reason why we do it to begin with, right? It's only because life happens, and then we're like, oh, we need to eat, and shit, we got to pay the bills, like that. We start thinking we'll make it a career, and
we got adult.
Yeah, we have to do adult things. But when you come to a place like this, and you remember, no, actually, I just like playing, and if people want to play music with me, I will play music with them. Why not? I mean, it's only a couple of songs. If I hate it, it's going to be over in 5 minutes. So whatever, you know, if I love it, maybe we'll try and convince him to play a few more, you know. And that's the only reason why anyone picks up an instrument, you know, unless they're forced to by a parent who's horrible and evil. But, you know, playing guitar or singing is an expression of joy. So you should just have fun with it.
And I mean, I think it's an amazing thing to come back into a space like this where all of us are like, we're just showing up to do our thing for free. Because we want to, because we love it. And I mean, all the rest of the time we're like, how much are we in for this game?
Yeah.
It takes a lot of pressure off. I mean, like,
it does.
I can see, like, it's wonderful for me to not be working. I'm just, you know, I get to sit and listen to the music and enjoy it. And I can see you enjoying yourself on stage when we're on tour. Like, you know, there's some shows in particular that are just awe-inspiring. And I know how much fun you have. But it's a different kind of fun to watch you on a stage like this and just jamming with whoever, you know, and just feeling that music.
Yeah.
When you come home, it's different.
There's no stakes, you know. It's just play.
The stakes are on the bride.
Yeah, stakes are on the bride. It's the only place.
Only place I should be. Yeah, it's a really special thing, I think, and it's been quite refreshing, to be honest, for me. Like, I know, like, I mean, I don't have the pressure on my shoulders you do. The only person putting pressure on me is me, because I'm one of the independent guys, you know, and so the only person who's really driving me ever and going like, you know, have you achieved what you set out to achieve? Were you good enough tonight? Was that the set you wanted to play?
But that is just me. The artist mind, isn't it?
It is the artist mind.
Totally.
You guys are your biggest critics.
We are the worst. We're the worst. And we're the worst. There's no two ways around it.
Actual critics are worse because critics don't do anything. So why do we even listen to them? But the second worst critic is yourself.
Yeah, I think we're definitely the harshest critics of ourselves. So I know there's a different kind of expectation and pressure that you carry currently to what I carry, but still coming into a space like this where you're just like, yeah, I'm just here. Maybe I'll play a couple of songs. Maybe I'll sit and watch you play a couple of songs. It's cool. It's great. And it really is refreshing to just actually remember the core reason about why you do this.
Exactly.
And weirdly, I had more nerves getting up on this stage than I do getting up on like splashy stage. I don't even know why.
Interesting.
I don't know whether it was just like knowing that this audience is just really attentive.
Yeah, that could have something to do.
It could have something to do with it.
Really wants to hear what you've got.
Yeah,
it's
very genuine,
very receptive audience.
Yeah, so I'm not sure whether that was the factor, but it was a surprise. I got up on that stage going like, I'm so used to getting up on stage, and then finding myself actually going like, ooh, tingles.
Yeah, I had that the first day we were here, so I wasn't expecting to play straight away, and then Rudo came up to me and he was like, cool, so do you want to open the Jamboree? And I was like, what?
Also, here's an acoustic guitar.
Here's an acoustic. And I haven't done like a proper solo gig in probably 4 or 5 years. And I've done the odd thing here and there, but I'd prepared for them. Like I hadn't prepared to come and do a set. And then I was just sitting there playing to like, not even a lot of people, like just a handful of people that were already here. And as I was playing, people were arriving.
And you were like,
I was like, holy shit, like this is hard.
You guys should see me doing my day job.
Yeah, that's way easier than this.
I mean, that is priceless.
Yeah, it's just the benefit of repetition.
Yeah.
If you do something all the time, it's easier.
Yeah.
If you don't do it that often, and if you put, the more of yourself you put onto it, the harder it is, I guess.
So let's talk guitars for a second. You
Yeah.
brought up the acoustic guitar, and that is obviously not your norm. You're normally shredding it on a bunch of electrics. What is your favorite band? Come on.
My favorite between electric and acoustic.
Well, no. Like obviously you have, I know, no doubt very hot, or left a lot of your own electric guitars here in South Africa. When you go on tour, you're not playing those guitars. Those guitars are sitting either at your place or with mates or whoever you've safely secured your babies with. I understand this.
Yeah.
Right. So what guitars are you currently playing on stage while you're traveling around? What do you
Okay, so in the Queen show we have a replica of Brian May's actual guitar because he made a guitar called the Red Special. He made that with his dad. So if there is no other guitar like it, you can't sound like Brian May without playing a guitar that's like Brian May's guitar. So like a Strat or a Les Paul or something doesn't quite do it because it's a bit more complicated in how it's put together. It sounds a certain way. So Showtime owns one of those. I use that. I would like to have my own one at some point, but I just haven't found the right one yet. But when we do some of the other shows, like we did a Michael Jackson show this year, which was awesome. I took my guitar with me. That was great. But most of the time I'm using whatever they've got in any particular country. The Queen Brian May guitar usually travels with me because I'm the next guy who's going to use it.
Yeah.
Unless the next time, like we finished in Canada, I think last year, and then the next time we were going to do Queen was in Canada again. So we just left the
it
guitar
stayed
there.
there. Yeah.
Because they have two of those. They have a spare which is somewhere, and then there's the main one.
In a locker.
Yeah, not sure where it is.
It's a state secret, I can tell.
But I like playing Strats and single coil guitars, and Showtime has quite a few of those. So I mean, a kind of comfort zone for the most part.
Yeah.
There's nothing like your own guitar. I'd like to, but the thing is that when you take your own guitar on a tour, there is you're opening yourself up to quite a bit of risk in the travel phase.
There's a level of anxiety, yes.
Because we've had things not arrive before, like you get to a country and most of your suitcases aren't there. Or like one person's suitcase isn't there. And that maybe has something show critical in the suitcase. So now you've got to make a plan.
Yeah.
And if your guitar gets damaged, it's your guitar.
Yeah. And that can be a heartbreaking thing.
Cool, you can insure it. But as we know with wooden instruments, no two are alike.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
cool, you can replace it, but it's not going to be the same guitar anymore.
And I mean, especially in the sense that I know, like you and like myself, I now have a beautiful custom electric, and like those are like really, they're custom. They're not like any other guitar.
Yeah.
You're not going to go and just pick up another of those because that was it. And so I think that anxiety, it must be nice not to have. As much as it sucks not having your own guitar, it's nice not to have the anxiety of trying to protect your babies as you travel the world.
Well, I mean, we do our best to look after Showtime's guitars, but there's still that level of, okay, it's not mine.
Yeah.
If you're listening, Johnny, I'm sorry. I take very good care of your guitars.
I swear.
I promise. Yeah, but look, I would love to just play my guitar all the time, but it doesn't always make sense.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But you didn't have your guitar with you for most of this year.
No.
And when you came home and saw it there,
I was so excited.
just filled with so much joy, and it was like I've never seen you come home from tour before and just be like, I want to play guitar. Usually it's like, oh, I'm tired, I just need to take a break,
Yeah, I couldn't wait. As soon as I saw it, I didn't really think about it that much. And then we got to Sarah's parents' place and it had been stored there. And I forgot that it was there. I thought it was at my mom's place. But I
So it's
saw
like,
the case.
surprise!
Oh, it's here! Fuck yeah! And then,
That's
that was
amazing.
Awesome. So then I just spent the next couple of days playing all day. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think there's something really special about having found an instrument that you love that much, and like equipment especially guitars, instruments to play, they take on a life of their own. You know, they kind of absorb something energetic from every show that you play on them. And, you know, like, I've got 3 different guitars, and there's like, I always kind of go like, which one of you am I taking? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. What kind of show am I playing? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Like, which one do I want? And there's occasions where I go back and I listen to audio recordings of certain shows, and I go like, said in that, like, damn, which guitar was I playing? You know, and he'll go, no, you're playing the Fish Eagle. I was like, it just sounds so good. Like, I need to take that guitar out more.
Yeah, we weird creatures, guitar players.
A little bit strange. It's okay. We're amongst like-minded people. We're fine. And Sarah understands.
I do understand.
She totally
Sort
gets
of.
it.
She does get very annoyed when, because every time we go to a new city, if we've got some time, I will go into the music store that's there, whatever it is. And she gets hella annoyed.
Oh, look, there's
with
nothing
that.
for me in there, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like,
So you've got to drag him to a lighting
pretty,
store. You've
you
got to
know,
be like, dude,
exactly.
now you're going to come here. That's a fair trade.
But I do find it fascinating. Like when we were in the US earlier this year, he was adamant that he was going to go and find a US Strat.
Right.
Because what better place to find one? And you tried.
I tried very hard.
But he just came back and every time was like, I saw a really nice one. I picked it up and it didn't feel like mine. And like I can understand that. You know, I'm not a musician, I don't play, but just watching you with your instruments and hearing how that kind of stuff happens, it's cool. I get it.
Yeah, I think you guys are very, very fortunate, not only obviously to have the careers that you currently have, obviously it's great, well done, but I mean, to really be able to understand each other at this level and do this together, that is a gift. That a lot of people don't get to share with their partners. You know, this experience as a whole is incredible and unique, but the fact that you guys get to do it together is like the most unique thing. Like, I don't know many people who get to have that.
Well, you get it.
I get to have that. Yeah, this is true. I get to have that. And maybe that's why I understand how cool it is. You know, that there's no one else actually who you'd rather have there with you, sharing that on a professional level, actually.
Yeah, because it's tough. I mean, look, some of the things we've learned from tour, one of the biggest things is that it's always it's a people game. You know, most jobs, you don't wake up in the morning and immediately see your work colleagues.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And so you have to be able to get along with the people, and if you don't, those tensions build up pretty quickly. So, I mean, Sarah and I get along pretty well.
Thank goodness.
But what also helps us is...
Glad you figured that out before you got married, by the way.
It was a helpful thing to have sorted out. But our jobs are different enough that we don't kind of overlap too much into each other's space. So like I'll help her set up the lights, but I don't know anything about them. So she's the boss.
Yeah.
And then when she's actually running the lights, I know absolutely nothing about what's going on. So,
But you've learned so much.
well, I've learned so much, but
I'm so proud of him.
but we have such separate jobs. I think it's kind of sometimes maybe it's harder if you're performing on stage together because you're now sharing that same space. I don't know, but some people can do that as well. You know.
Yeah, I mean...
But there's enough of a gap between what we do that, like, we can get home from a show day and get into our hotel room or whatever, and we can have had completely different days. So we still have stuff to talk about. So that keeps our
We're
relationship.
doing the same show, but it's like maybe
totally
I was
different
dealing with
thing.
somebody who was just a real pain in the ass that day, or maybe, you know, the audience sitting in the front row, which happens sadly fairly often, the people sitting right in the front are just watching you.
Gone like
And
zombie.
I'm sitting at the back where like all the people are having the greatest time and they're up and they're clapping and they're dancing. And I'm like, that was a really good show. And he's like, oh, it was so draining.
So two completely different experiences out of one thing.
Can be, and vice versa.
And such an amazing thing to have that other perspective though as well. You know, like that most people don't get, you know.
Yeah.
And not from someone that they trust at that level. Which is like incredible. So if there was one bit of advice you could give to people, like I know last night you said be careful what you wish for, like because you
Yeah,
just
but that's-
might get it. But you were,
yeah.
I know you were being
Being a bit facetious.
You were being a bit facetious. You
Yeah.
weren't being deadly serious. But the reality of it is that until you were in a situation, you really don't know how it's going to feel, the ins and outs of it, you know. And I think that, like, you guys are now currently having an experience that a lot of us aren't. So what advice would you give to up-and-coming techs, up-and-coming sort of guitarists and musicians who would like to push themselves to the level that you guys are currently at?
Good question.
It's my most interviewee question.
It is very
okay.
interviewee, but I love it. Sure. I think for me, the technical side would be nobody knows what they're doing. Like, I'm sure that's relatable in every aspect of, you know, music and this industry. But you can just figure it out as you go. YouTube is a great place for learning how things work. And I mean, the amount of lighting desks I've jumped on that I've never worked with before. And it's just like, okay, well, find a couple of YouTube videos. How does it work? Cool. It's all the same language.
Right, yeah.
And you can figure it out.
Yeah.
So it can be daunting, but there's such a huge reward involved, like personally. If you walk in there and you're like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. But then at the end of the day, you figured it out. So it's just, persevere and teach yourself. You can.
That's good. That's a good one. Very good.
I would say to a performer or anyone wants to be a performer, get out there and watch other people perform. Make friends with people who are already performing. Try find yourself someone who can mentor you, give you pieces of advice, and just absorb as much as you can from what other people are already doing. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You got to figure out how everybody else does things first, because there are some things that are done for a reason. You know, that you might not come across on your own.
Yeah.
And it'll make your life a lot easier if you already know things that other people know. And then you can branch out and try your own thing. But I think learning from others is huge, and I was very lucky to have some very important mentors in my life who helped me to get where I am now. And not always like mentors who are in the same field.
Yeah.
You know? Just other people who had lived a bit more life than me.
Yeah.
I think that's important, is just learning from others.
And surrounding yourself, I suppose, with the kind of people you would like to be.
Yeah.
You know, I think that is...
If you can find it. Like the whole find your tribe thing. But also, at some point, you need to stretch your legs and try something else and go somewhere else. Put yourself in difficult situations. But to start off with, watch other people. Go to people's shows if you can afford to, or whatever. Otherwise, YouTube. Watch other people perform.
Yeah.
You learn so much.
You do. I watch people's fingers, like, permanently. Whether it's a guitarist or violinist, I'm always like, I'm learning while I sit there, you know.
Yeah.
So I do relate to that. It's
And learn how they carry themselves, how they talk to an audience. And
absolutely, yeah.
not that you have to copy someone else's way of talking to the audience, but see what makes it feel that
Alive.
way, you know?
Yeah.
Why are you connecting with this?
Yeah.
Things like that.
That is such good advice, guys.
And have fun.
Have fun.
Yeah, have fun.
Life is short, just enjoy it.
Yeah, it's so true, man. Take the weight of the world off your shoulders and just be in the moment.
As much as you can, if you can remember to. You know?
Yeah, you do have to remind yourself every now and
pretty
then.
hard. It's pretty hard.
Well, thank you guys for having this chat at the Jamboree. Of
Thanks,
all
Dawn.
places to find the two of you.
Yeah.
Globe-trotting jet setters.
Yeah, on the 4th day of a solid 4-day jaw.
Yes, I was going to lead with that. I mean, but we're ending with it.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
whole interview has been conducted after 4 days of music festival jolling. Anyone watching this understand where we've been
And how we look.
and how we feel.
Sounds like more jawling is beginning behind us.
It is
now.
beginning.
The reality of it is
ramping
it's
up
actually
again.
only day 3. Day 4's tomorrow. We're not done yet,
Oh,
guys.
is that the week? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
This is the time warp, right? Like you think you've been here for 4 days.
We got here on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Today's Monday.
Okay, no,
today's
maybe.
day 4. But didn't you get here on Saturday?
Oh, so I am actually.
You're on day 3.
They're on day 4.
fresher
I'm on
than
day
us.
3. I'm one day behind. I got some catching up to do. But thank you for catching up with me. I really
Awesome.
appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Dawn.
It's been great, thanks.
Yeah,
fun.
it's such a pleasure, guys.